part of the Lotus
At
Cup.
this level,
Not even Messi. Taiwo played in 2005, 2006 Nations Cup in Egypt. It was there. So it doesn't mean that people said, okay, the under 23 is just a stopgap. But at this level, once you play at this level, most of the players playing at this level, they play first-team football at their club.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what we can fall back on. Talking about it on the 20 and team. Solomon Theophilus is 18. Yeah. Good one. We saw his picture. He looks relatively young. Good one for the country. He becomes the 10th foreign-based player, and Manu Garba is calling. Do you want to tell him to, hey, coach, put a pause. Let's begin to look inwards.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm agreeing a lot with Donald Kota tonight. Coach Manu Garba is in a position where he has to improvise a lot. And he has to balance the squad in terms of quality. And if he feels that some of this, I mean, the issue has always been that the guys from the domestic scene do need some time. So you'll have to balance it with players that are ready. And this guy is not really relatively unknown. He was in Abuja some years back before he went to Croatia. And like I said, the man has been forced to improvise. Croatia might probably be on break or something might happen, or they've reached an agreement with the club. At some point, he will have to stop, because you can't rely solely, apart from the fact that it's expensive. Yeah. I mean, you have to pay their tickets and all of that. It's expensive. But on the other side, he could get that balance. And at this stage, I think it's okay. I think what the coach is trying to do is that, look, what happens if I don't get my ASIC success, I don't get the other guys to come? What about some guys that have almost the same quality and are readily available? I think that's what he's trying to do. And the guy still falls within the age bracket is good. And also, for a coach to invite a player, he must have seen enough of that player to warrant an invitation. I want to believe that Coach Manu Garba would have seen this guy and felt that this guy is good enough for the team.
But let's analyze this. Countries such as Egypt, Sudan, Congo, Tunisia, they will look inwards to build a team at this level. Why are we not doing the same?
Well, I think we are going for the tournament with 21 players. If you have 10 foreign base, you have 11 domestic league players. So I think that's what we say 55-50%, or 55% domestic league players. At this level, what we're doing is that some of the players who, if we had the right structure, would have gone Europe, would have gone foreign, would have gone abroad, like Keshi Iheanacho, Nwakali, the likes of Yaya, the likes of Taiwo Anurini. If we had the right structures here, they're supposed to be playing for the B team of our league clubs, or reserve team, or maybe one or two cameo appearances for the top flight, for the top tier, for the first team. But because we don't have the right structure, we ship them out. So what this man is trying to do is that we had a team who majority of the players who played at the Under 17 World Cup in United Arab in 2013 are still available. You can still lay your hands on them. Why not pick them up? Because these are what we're clamoring for. That. Why not try to graduate these players? Yeah. What is the purpose of graduation if these players cannot move from one level to the other, and you dump them at one level? So we're saying, okay, bring them, but not a guarantee that they will play at the 20 level completely. No, let them go. Let them put them into another test, into a screening process with the other players who were dropped from that 17 squad. Indeed, the Wife was supposed to be part of that squad in Morocco. He was dropped into the MIS scan, but he went to the 17 World Cup. So he was not part of this squad. So it should be brought together with the other guys who could have been part of the other 17, but they were dropped for one reason or the other, because we know that football is dynamic. Some of the other players who were dropped at the 17 level must have improved. Who knows? So create a level of competition so that it doesn't become a player at the 17. I won the World Cup, so it's an automatic ticket for me at this level. So I think for our club administrators or our football administrators, let's look at how we can develop football here so that this form our best player, because this is what we are going to face. If these guys were in Nigeria, you don't need an invitation. The NFL will just give you the directive. The club will oblige. They will release their player because this is a national team call-up. This is a national team assignment. You don't have to want to sabotage the national team assignment. So, but now we are going to be at the beck and call of this European club. Who needs this player because they pay for this player?
That's it.
So
that's it. Totally agree with you. So that's it. At this level, we just hope that football can be developed so that the future towards progressing to the senior national team can be solid. Let's leave Nigeria, but still stay in Africa. Yemi, what is going on between West Ham and Senegal?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the Afrasako, and the guys are like, okay, fine, you're telling us that this guy is injured, no problem. Is this club versus country round? And it's always been there. I remember the time in 2004, Yakubu Aigbin was expelled from the national team. Harry Redknapp, his coach at Portsmouth, brought a private jet to take him back to Portsmouth, just to show you that he never wanted his player to come for the Nations Cup.
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce, I mean, obviously has the same sentiments when J.J. Okocha was playing for him. And I'm not surprised that the same player, I mean, the same coach, having an African player is, Senegal is saying, look, we're entitled to have this player. You're telling us he's injured, no problem. But while you're saying he's injured and we're playing in the Nations Cup, we should not see him playing for you. Let's not forget, in 2006, we were to play Ghana. Under Jose Mourinho, we were told that Essien was injured. Essien didn't feature for the Black Stars in the 2006 Nations Cup, only for us to see him a week after play for Chelsea. And those clubs, I mean, those countries, now knowing the power that they have, because they are backed by FIFA laws, are now saying, ideally, this player should be with us. We should be the ones to determine whether or not he's fit enough to play. Okay, fine, let's take your word and say he's injured. Good. He must not play. Because if he does, there will be a problem.
That's it. That's it. So that means they have, the country has a say in this.
Yeah.
He's not fine, then let him
It's
not
like
play.
a chokehold in wrestling.
let him not play for you. Dumno, this always comes up in almost every edition of the African Cup of Nations. When will this club learn that even if a player plays for you, he belongs to the country?
But remember, the African Cup of Nations was even number years. Suddenly we turned it
Odd
over to
years.
odd number over years. Even the January-February calendar is not too comfortable for this European club, especially in the English Premier League. Even some of the other clubs in Europe, because they just started, they just resumed for the second round of the season. Some of these European clubs don't appreciate when it's time for the Nations Cup. They have a serious nightmare, especially coach in the English Premier League. Especially coach of maybe. Alex Ferguson at one point said he would hate to sign an African player because of the Nations Cup here. Some of the coaches don't like it. Some of them, they saw this African Cup of Nations coming. They are now looking at ways to negotiate with their countries. So some of them are using an underhand tactics to say, oh, this player is injured, so you can't become a part of the team. But you know, this is going to be part of. It's going to be a big. It's going to take a long time. But the thing is, if this club understands that this is Africa's major flagship football tournament, they must respect it. Whether it's going to be on African, whether it's going to be within the time period which you accept, no, let the players go for the tournament. After the tournament, he goes back to your club. He's going to play for you from September up to July. You just have only 2 weeks to play for the national team, unless you're going to play
I think the problem, I agree with Nodi totally, but I think the problem will never stop. As long as Africa relies on players based in Europe to play in the Nations Cup, even a country as tiny as Seychelles, by the time you go and look at it, you might be surprised that 80% of those guys play in Europe. European clubs will never be satisfied. Even if you say, okay, we want these players in August, you put odd years, even years, it's going to continue. So Africa will learn that at some point, let's develop our leagues.
Fantastic.
The reliance,
that's the lesson in it.
The reliance on European-based players is what's causing these problems. And we are at a point where the clubs and the countries will never agree. Whatever resolutions they reach is always like a piece of the graveyard.
So that's it, guys. I must appreciate you guys coming on the program. Let's end it for this segment, on this part. Quickly, let's just see some messages we're receiving on Twitter. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, we're channels_sports. Fidel Indubweze says, CAF Footballer of the Year award, I'll vote for Yaya Toure. He's more outstanding than others. That's it. We have our opinions on the program. Let's go on a quick break now. We'll come back. A sport that has done so well for Nigeria, trying to consolidate on their efforts from 2014 to 2015, is table tennis. Aaron Aquadri voted the best male table tennis player at the IWTF Star Awards in Dubai. We spoke to the president of Nigeria Table Tennis Federation. He says for them, they want to do more. Let's listen to it and I'll come back. We'll talk some more on sports tonight. Stay with us.
The Federation will continue to try and give opportunities to young players as long as we have the funding. And, you know, funding is our greatest strength right now. We need to get these players playing abroad, playing on the circuit, and working with the best coaches in the world, helping our coaches to work with the best coaches in the world. And the talent is here, as Haruna has proven. The first big plan we have now is for the African senior